How's it going, everybody? This is S3Tide coming at you with that week 11 of college football recap video. We're going to go ahead and get into this. I just did the Alabama LSU recap that's going up right now, so yeah. Thursday we have Virginia Tech at Georgia Tech. Thursday night game. Georgia Tech pulled off that Clemson upset a few weeks ago. They're a dangerous team. This is Virginia Tech. They have everything to lose. Georgia Tech necessarily doesn't have everything to lose, but they will be right up there in the top of the ACC if they win this game. Virginia Tech struggled the last game against Duke. They're coming off a bye week. With the week before at Duke, they won 14-10. Couldn't get anything going on offense. Georgia Tech tends to struggle disregarding the Clemson game. They usually struggle at home in night games when they're on prime time, especially on Thursdays. So I'm going Virginia Tech, really close. I say 21-17 Virginia Tech. Moving on to Friday, we have Oklahoma State, Texas Tech. This could be a trap game for Oklahoma State. Texas Tech's already had that upset of Oklahoma, but Texas Tech has been really struggling after that loss. That upset. So I have Oklahoma State big, even though it's at Texas Tech on ABC, 11 o'clock. I believe Oklahoma State will win big, 48-28. Oklahoma State. Wake Forest, Clemson. This could be an upset alert game for Clemson. Wake Forest is a dangerous team. They played Notre Dame close last week. This game is on ESPNU. Will be an early game for Clemson. Clemson tends to do pretty well in early games, so I'm going to give the edge to Clemson, but pretty close. I say 35-24 Clemson. Nebraska, Penn State. Penn State's going through all this turmoil right now. They probably weren't going to win this game anyway. Nebraska's coming off that loss against Northwestern. Penn State, all the turmoil with the guys getting raped by the offensive coordinator back about 10 years ago, and Joe Paterno not reporting this and talking about it and whatnot. He's probably going to be done. This is going to be a low-scoring game more than likely. But with all the distraction off the field for Penn State, if they win out, they will win the Big Ten. We'll go to the championship game anyway. But I don't see that happening, and I believe Nebraska will win this game 21-14 over Penn State. Florida at South Carolina. Florida's coming off that loss against Georgia. That was a few weeks ago. Then they barely beat Vanderbilt last week, so that was they barely escaped their fifth straight SEC loss. Playing at South Carolina. South Carolina's coming off the loss against Arkansas. They have no offense, really. Well, they've had 28 points up against Arkansas, but Arkansas doesn't necessarily have the best defense in the SEC. But this is going to be a low-scoring game at South Carolina. This is going to be really close. I say South Carolina wins this game 21-17. Texas at Missouri. Upset. I got Missouri winning this game 35-30 over Texas. At Missouri, 11 o'clock game on FX. I have no clue what that is. I'm guessing Fox or something like that. Texas has one of the better defenses in the country, actually. They're playing great defense, but their offense has been kind of struggling. They're coming off that win against who did they beat last week? But whatever, they won last week. Pretty big. I believe Missouri should win this game 35-30. Close one. Michigan State at Iowa. Iowa's coming off that upset of Michigan. I call that upset. Iowa plays too physical. Two smash-mouth teams going at each other. This game's at Iowa. But I'm giving the edge to Michigan State. Very close. Going to be a defensive struggle. 14-10 Iowa. West Virginia at Cincinnati. If Cincinnati wins this game, they will more than likely play for the Big East. Will win the Big East and go to a BCS Bowl. More than likely. West Virginia's coming off a loss last week. I just believe Cincinnati gets this done. Not dumb. I say 38-28 over West Virginia. Zach Caleros and Butch Jones, first-year head coach, doing wonders in Cincinnati. Let's see, moving on. Kentucky at Vanderbilt, two of the bottom teams in the SEC. Even though Vanderbilt's been playing pretty good football this year, they should have had a few wins. They should be bowl eligible right now, but they'll be up there in a few years. Give them a year or two, get some talent in there. James Franklin is learning how to recruit for Vanderbilt. They bring a lot of players back next year, so be on the lookout for them being a dark horse in the SEC. But Kentucky is just terrible, and I believe Vanderbilt will beat Kentucky. I believe Vanderbilt will win this 24-7. Say 24-14 over Kentucky. Baylor at Kansas. Baylor wins 835-0. Moving on. TCU at Boise State. I think Boise State's gonna win this, but I hate them. So we don't necessarily hate them, but I hate them in a way because I'm not pulling for them right now. Because I want Alabama to go to the championship game, which is highly unlikely. But if all the scenarios go the right way, they can. But I'm picking TCU in an upset just because I want them to. A really close game, but I believe TCU will outscore Boise State 44-40 TCU. Texas A&M at Kansas State. Kansas State's coming off that disappointing loss against Oklahoma. Was a big shootout. Kansas State, they're great, like a great coach team. They do whatever it takes to win. If it has to be a low-scoring game, if it has to be high-scoring, and they've proven to be able to play with Oklahoma State and the Oklahomas, but they haven't yet to take that step. They're going to be really disappointed, but I believe they'll beat Texas A&M. They're going to score some points. It'll be a pretty high-scoring game. I say Kansas State wins this game 38-30. Auburn at Georgia. Honestly, I didn't even know this game was this week. Well, I think I talked about it earlier, but earlier in the day, but I just now remembered. Going to be a really close game in Athens, Georgia. The CBS game at 2:30. Georgia, if they control their destiny to win the SEC East, and if they win the SEC East, who knows what can happen from there. They might be able to go to a BCS Bowl. They're up at 15 right now. Auburn, coming off a bye week, I think. They'll be ready to play in Athens, Georgia. As much as I hate Auburn, forget it. Georgia wins this game close. I believe Georgia will win. Their defense will stop Clint Mosley. As I said, I told you guys Clint Mosley was a better quarterback than Barrett Trotter. I told you. Georgia wins this game 24-21 in a close one. Michigan, Illinois. Michigan coming off that loss last week against Iowa. Low-scoring game. Michigan wins 17-10 over Illinois. 17-10. Washington at USC. Upset. I'm calling it. Washington wins. Let's say high-scoring game. 38-34. Very close. Upset. Washington. Dangerous team with Kevin Price at quarterback. Upset. I'm calling it. Miami at Florida State. Big rivalry game here. Rivalry. I can never say that word right. Rivalry. But this game is at... Well, I lost my place. Where's it? Oh, at Florida State. Both teams pretty mediocre this year. Florida State was more the hype team, but they're back on track now after the few losses in the beginning of the season. Miami's coming off that Thursday night loss against Virginia a few weeks ago, or it might have been last week. I'm not even sure. But Miami had a few extra days to prepare. I'm not entirely sure if Florida State's coming off a bye. I'll check real fast. Well, never mind. I don't want to mess anything up. But I give Florida State the edge. Say 28-24 Florida State. Tennessee at Arkansas. This game's going to be a blowout. Arkansas will win 40. Say 30. 41-20 over Tennessee. Any more games? Alabama, Mississippi State going to be making a separate game for this. Us boys got to be ready. This could be a trap. Well, not necessarily a trap game, but this could be a dangerous game. Going into Starkville at night with the Cowbells coming off the loss. Hopefully Nick Saban will have her boys ready. But I'm going to make a separate video for this game, so I'm not going to do my prediction yet. So be looking out for that. The last game I got, Oregon at Stanford. I gotta be saying quack quack for this one, because if Stanford wins this game, they will definitely jump Alabama in the BCS polls. So this game's gonna be tough. Stanford's been proven to be exposed when they're playing against teams that are fast, which was against USC, and they're not necessarily the fastest team in the Pac-12, and that comes into play this week. Oregon is the fastest team in the Pac-12 by far, if not one of the fastest teams in the country. This is going to be extremely high scoring. I want Oregon to win, and I believe Oregon does win. I hope and pray. High scoring, high scoring. I give Oregon 48 to 40 over Stanford. So that is it, guys. That's my predictions for week 11. And as always, roll Tide, and I will see you guys later. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do a recap video or not, because my computer's been messing up, and I don't know. But I'll see you guys later, and roll Tide.